It's that time of the year. Happy holidays. Everyone from 2K Sports as we get set to bring you some mid-season NBA action. Alongside Doris Burke and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan. And on the sidelines, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. And here we go, the battle between conferences. It's East versus West, where the Miami Heat will be looking to make a statement. This, their first chance to take a look at Minnesota this season. And not only a 1-1 split series between these two teams. Last year, guys, but both wins were on the road, so home court advantage wasn't that big an advantage.
And this was as even a matchup as you'll find in the NBA. Split the season series down the middle, one apiece.
You know, both teams are competitive, but not necessarily playing yet at a championship level. And part of what makes this battle so intriguing is how close they are.
Tobias Harris in his 8th season in the NBA and still just 26 years old.
Yeah, I mean, one season at Tennessee, and he has slowly but steadily improved each year. And, you know, he's gotten stronger, more consistent with his long-range shooting, and he's found his calling as one of those prototype small ball fours.
Now here's Iguodala. Smart on the wing. Back to Iguodala. It's tipped to the inside. It's stolen by Harris. And it's Conley penetrating. It's stolen by Moore. And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession. And now just over a minute played here in the first. And the foul on Marcus Smart. That's his first foul. Here's Harris. Pass to Conley. Harrell with it. Over in the corner, Conley. Shot clock at 5.
You can see with the contest right there that defensively Towns arrived in the NBA prepared to make an impact.
Well-timed pass, and he goes straight to the bucket for the layup.
And where's the help? Obviously a missed rotation, something they're going to want to patch up.
Right, because otherwise you're going to give up those close-range opportunities all night. If you allow the opposition to get into a groove, look out.
And here we go with Morris, running it up the court. And there's the call on Montrezl Harrell. That is his first foul of the game. And stolen by Harrell. Pass to Harris. Stolen by Smart. And here we go. Towns heading to the hoop.
Boy, you have to love how engaged Marcus Smart is defensively. This guy is a nightmare for the offense.
Here's LeVert. Now Harrell. Pass to LeVert. And the rejection by Towns.
Well, that play has so much reach and determination affecting the game defensively. Well, you think about about the Minnesota Timberwolves becoming one of the premier offensive teams in the league. They have a huge advantage in free throw attempts and limiting turnovers, two things that have really set this group apart.
And Doris, you look at the Wolves offense, have they matched out how good they can be?
I think one area they have to look at is in this age of the three-pointer, they were one of the league's lowest in three-point attempts. To me, they've got to boost that number, and I think they also need to look to attack in transition. They've certainly got enough weapons. Well, they're simply having trouble getting their legs underneath them, right? They're just 1 for 5 to start things off.
Some nice ball movement here by the Heat. And slam dunk by Harris.
And watch out, you don't bring the whole basket down on top of you, young fella.
I don't think he ever wanted to let go of the rim. In the corner, Smart with it. Back to Iguodala. Pass to Maker. And the dunk by Maker.
I don't think the pass could be better placed. That's a great assist.
And so it's Harris who will bring it up for the Miami Heat. Trailing by 2. Here's Harrell. And Harrell slams it in.
He's known as more steady than flashy, but that was a sensational pass by Conley. He can get fancy when he needs to.
So the Timberwolves call their first timeout.
And you got to love just how smart of a point guard Mike Conley is. You never get the sense he is forcing anything with the ball and keeps it moving around to his teammates. Very aware of his spacing and the spacing of others while running that offense.
Now the Timberwolves with it. Pass to Maker. Sinks the triple. Maker's got 7 points in the game.
Guys, listen, the defense was totally invisible on that three-point attempt. Nobody even in his zip code.
Lin looking it over. And he comes up with the deuce.
Well, you have to love the focus. Jeremy Lin creating well for himself down low makes that one look easy.
Pass to Maker. Hangs in midair and converts on the double clutch layup. 9 points in the game so far.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Here's Lin. Lays up and in on the nice reverse. Lin's got his second bucket of the night.
You have to enjoy watching Jeremy Lin work the pick and roll. This guy totally loses the defense with his quick decision making.
Now here's Towns. That one goes in. Towns has got his second bucket of the game to go.
Yeah, and there it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great inside positions.
Here's Lin. And he can't bank that one in. And there's a whistle. That goes on Jeremy Lin. That is his first foul of the game. Inside. And the dunk by Maker.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
Yeah, you know, they may have gotten the feeling he would dish it off, but he had a surprise for them.
It's stolen by Harris. Outside, Lin. And Maker sends it back. And it's out of bounds. They retain possession here. Outside Turner. Stolen by Winslow. Here's Gordon. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right. And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through 1/4 of action so far. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Timberwolves?
For me, that defense in the first period, just tremendous shot blocking.
They have smothered every opportunity, it feels like. The other team has got to be nervous on field goal attempts.
Back to Lynn. Good D by Johnson.
Allowing no space for the shooter to get comfortable. Just terrific defense.
Well, we call that crowding the shooter, right? You don't give up an inch. It's just perfect defense.
Nice work side and draw the contact.
So much of being a scorer is finding ways to get open without the ball, Doris, and there are a lot of guys that do that very well in the league right now.
Well, you think back to guys like Ray Allen, who have retired in the last 5 to 6 years. He was one of the all-time bests. You think back to the Detroit Pistons teams and Rip Hamilton. They set the stage for today's generation. Guys like Klay Thompson and Kyle Korver, who are relentless in their motion and sometimes do it randomly. Outside of the context of the offense, they're just, because they've done it so often, the kind of movement they create puts tremendous stress on your defense.
Miami again turning it over. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, it is the era of positionless basketball, but how exactly did we get here? Well, new defensive rules at the turn of the century encouraged face-up scoring, motion-based offense, and guard play over isolation and post-ups. As a result, offensive roles have become more interchangeable.
It has become a positionless game now. David, thank you very much. Now here's Lynn. And Jones has it in the corner. 5 on the clock. Turner. That's tipped. And here's the break. There's Gordon with the 3. The rebound by Turner. The Heat trailed by 7. Lynn with it. Now guarded by Winslow. Pass to Jones. Stolen by Winslow. Fast break, Minnesota. Gordon's running. And it's Miami with the rebound.
I don't think the defense is much of a factor there. He just botches the finish.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game.
And his guys are getting frustrated. Coach just really kind of needs to calm them down.
I think, Greg, they've got to continue to believe that the next shot is going to go in. He can hopefully communicate that effectively to them.
Two minutes now played in the second quarter. Right side, Conley. Harold down low. It's not going to go for him. Timberwolves leading by 7. Stolen by Conley. Here's Middleton. Throws down the breakaway jam.
How about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Yeah, a big change of possession in a tight ball game. We'll see if they've seized the momentum. I think the one constant with Tom Thibodeau is you can always hear his voice the entire game. Doesn't matter if you're up 20 or down 20, you will hear Tom Thibodeau on the sideline.
Now here's Harold.
Well, this is a tough night so far. They'd be smart to rely more on a couple of their other options.
0-1 near Iguodala as he lets it go. The quick look, no good that time. And hearing Coach Tom Thibodeau, some had described his voice as part growl, part bark.
He's very intense, Kevin, and I think the one thing you know about Tom Thibodeau, he likes to say, there is a price to pay. It's all about the work you put in.
Now Conley. after Thon Maker missed from long range. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Conley. Minnesota in the lead. Smart deciding where to go with it. Pass to Maker. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now.
Wow, what, do you have something in his eye on that shot?
Maybe.
Yeah, nice job of drawing the contact and creating opportunities at the line.
Now here's Smart. He's been patient so far. Nothing on the scoreboard yet. And here in the second quarter of action as we approach 4 minutes played. And Maker sends it back.
Hey, we're not seeing the best quarter by this guy, and he's lost his feel a little bit.
Morris with the bucket.
You have now got to respect the three-point shooting ability of Marcus Morris. He understands now he's got to take that shot.
Now here's Harrell. He's got 7. And yes, it's good.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Minnesota calls timeout. Doors are seeing a lot of movement on the offensive side of the ball. A lot of screening, a lot of movement, obviously, without the ball. Does that require more awareness, not only on the offensive side to make those moves, but also defensively?
No, I don't think there's any question about it. One of the most important things you can do if you're an excellent defensive team is you start with communication. So as that action starts, the movement and the screening, are the teammates talking? Screen coming right, screen coming left. Do we want to trap the screen? Do we want to make sure the ball gets out of a certain player's hands? Communication in this day and age against motion offenses has got to be at the top of the list defensively.
Well said. Timberwolves leading by 3. To the inside. Pass to Maker. And Thompson sends it back.
Oh, the former Longhorn Thompson really elevating for the rejection.
Oh, wow.
Wow, Iguodala, an incredible dunk. Woo, did he leave the ground quickly.
This is his second trip to the line in this one. On the wing, Thompson. Back to Thomas. Heat moving the ball around. Here's Plumlee. And it's slammed in by Plumlee.
Man, he sure can get off the floor.
He's one of the best in the business, absolutely. On the wing, Porter. His three-pointers off the mark. And here's Thomas, who brings it up for the Heat. 4-point game. Their next game is at Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, taking on the Cavaliers. That will be a getaway game for them, a one-game road trip. Beyond the arc. That one's in, his first bucket of the game. He's 1 for 2.
Growing confidence in his jumper. Smart is rising and firing after the catch of the pass. Nice.
And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession.
And that's just a risky play to make a heave like that. Not worth it.
Pass to Thompson. Ennis in the corner. Here's Turner. The Heat rebound. Outside Thomas. Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. They shoot again. After 2 misses to start the game, he's on the board with that shot made.
We're talking about the bread and butter of Isaiah Thomas, the mid-range game. Boy, what a feel.
Here's Smart. And he got that one up in time, but doesn't go in. And that'll do it for the first half. A competitive game so far. Timberwolves lead by 5. Back after this from the American Airlines Arena. And in that first half, we saw a pretty tight battle. We'll soon find out what sort of adjustments were discussed during the half. Timberwolves leading by 5. Pass to Maker. Launches it. Rebound by Harrell. Now here is Conley. He's been quiet so far. Still no points in the game. Six to shoot. To the paint. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Harris has got the first points of the third quarter up on the board for the Heat.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
In the corner, Smart with it. Pass to Morris. And stolen by Harris. Conley with it. And it's Iguodala picking him up. Harrell. No good on that one. Towns with the defensive effort.
Boy, the defense collapsing and throwing him off balance on his way to the cup.
And that one is good. Morris has got 5.
You get the sense Marcus Morris, this close, says, I can score on anyone.
Pass to Harrell. And the rejection by Towns.
Boy, what a cold start to the second half for them. Just 1 for 4 from the field so far.
Morris outside. 5 on the clock. Jacks up a 3. Rebound by Harrell.
Oh, great job on the closeout, providing a lot of good D on the perimeter.
Well, that's just superb effort on the defensive end. You don't allow the shooter to get into a rhythm from deep.
Pass to Maker. And here's Towns. And he makes the bucket, gets the whistle, and now a 3-point play chance here for him.
Well, battling hard. That's an impressive move by Towns. He'll go to the strike.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
How about Karl Anthony Towns, guys? At the age of 11, guess how tall he was? 6'3". So it was his goal to develop a complete skill set all the way back then. Boy, how about that? Ahead of the game in terms of the NBA.
Pass to Winslow. From past the arc. Sinks the three-pointer. And the Timberwolves lead by 9. And talk about the mindset nowadays. Kids like Towns growing up not content to just play in the paint.
That's exactly right, Kevin. His father would divide their workouts into 2 halves. The first was face-up, dribbling, perimeter shooting. The second half of that workout, the interior, footwork, mic-and drills, finishing over either shoulder. Boy, that's a pretty smart dad.
And the Heat call time here.
Yeah, I think Coach calls his timeout right now because he's not happy with the distribution of shots. Difficult shots, contested shots. You've got to get a better offensive rhythm.
Big group substitution now for Minnesota. The Heat trailed by 11. Now Thomas. Pass to Thompson. Over Maker. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up. They get Andre Iguodala. Well, Tristan Thompson's someone who has fallen off greatly in production, Doris, the last few seasons.
Right, Tristan Thompson at his best is a guy who scores efficiently, but really his defense and rebounding are what he's got to hang his hat on.
To the middle. Here's Porter. He doesn't hit that one. Some solid defense from Harris. And it's Thomas with the ball. He brings it up for Miami. Trailing by 10. From the high post. Miami no good on that time either.
The D slow to rotate, and he misses out on an easy chance from mid-range.
Maker misses.
Well, I think the defense took that possession off. I'm pretty sure he won't miss next time.
And for Len, missing the season last year, he's just glad to be back. His playmaking and creativity is something that this team needs. As long as he's healthy and playing aggressively, he'll be an effective guard option.
And with Len, he made a point upon returning from injury, saying he will not change how he plays.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys, they'll shy away from contact after experiencing a torn patella like Len did, but he knows that he is at his best going at defenders and absorbing that contact. He said he'll try and be more aware of how he lands, but has no plans of changing his game.
There's Winslow. Count that one. Winslow's got 5 points now this quarter.
And racing up the court, you have a number of options and a great decision there.
I love how he took the initiative, right? He took charge of the opportunity and made the right decision.
And even with the height disadvantage, he finds a way to convert.
Boy, you got to appreciate how confident he was in that instance. He doesn't allow the taller defender to stop him. He's saying, I'll take you on right now.
And the Timberwolves call timing. And for Isaiah Thomas going into free agency, what he thought might be a big payday opportunity was, Greg, anything but that.
A few years ago, he was talking about backing up the Brinks truck and had to take a deal to prove he can still play. It has had a tumultuous past few years, but this deal could work out for the team if he can get back to form.
Timberwolves leading by 8. In the corner, Winslow with it. No good on the three.
The defense not doing its job there. Left him wide open, and I'm sure he's kicking himself for not cashing in.
Thomas deciding where to go with it. No good that time. The Timberwolves go the other way with it. They've led by as many as 11 points. There's Winslow. And the dunk by Winslow.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam.
Isaiah Thomas has a tremendous basketball IQ. His instinct is to score. But can he get his guys open? You bet.
Here's Iguodala. Maker with the ball. Picked up by Thompson. Out to Morris. Shot clock at 5. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. There's Maker. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Maker's got 13.
Well, this is the classic hot hand, right? If he can keep it up, their lead will be safe.
Yeah, the defender all over it.
For Miami, they have had 7 opportunities at the free throw line and made good on 5 of them. And he's good on the second.
Yeah, I like that they haven't lost their aggressiveness here in the second, despite being down.
Outside Porter. That shot no good. Excellent D that time from Jones. Here's Thomas. And we've reached the end of the third. Timberwolves ahead, up by 9. And coming up. And this is it. Glad to have you along for this 4th and final quarter. The Heat trail by 9. Conley surveying the D. Pass to Middleton. Down low. Now Harris. Back to Harrell. 3 seconds left. Lays it up and banks it in. Harrell's got the first field goal of the fourth quarter here for the Heat.
His hard work on the backboard really just has given them more opportunities to score.
Pass to Towns. Outside Gordon. And then Gordon with the dunk.
And guys, that's one of the more basic plays in anybody's playbook, but not to mention also truly one of the best.
And Greg, the pick frees him up, and the dunk caps it off.
Yeah, run your offense with that kind of precision. Not much anyone can do to stop it.
To the paint. And it's blocked by Towns. And stolen by Harris. Here's Harrell. Towns with the defensive effort.
Oof, rough game offensively. He's really struggled and really probably why they're trailing.
Good work there as it goes. And now an 11-point Minnesota lead. Here's Conley. Inside. Harrell. And 2 free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact. When it comes to building confidence, Doris, some people say playing one-on-ones in practice is a huge help. Is that something that you did when you were playing at Providence?
Kevin, I believe this could be the single greatest development tool for any individual player. If you start at the free throw line and play one-on-one against a player who's maybe slightly above your level or certainly at your level, and you limit that one-on-one from the free throw line to 2 dribbles or less, your skill set, I promise you, is going to develop. The other thing I would encourage young players to do is play 3-on-3, because it forces you to move and to cut and to screen and how to do those things properly if you're going to be effective. I love 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3. It always helps you when you go back to the 5-on-5.
Such great advice.
He's trying to make something happen, but obviously been a tough quarter.
Timeout called the Heat.
And Karl Anthony Towns, one of the most prolific three-point shooters in the league, at least top 3 amongst all 7-footers, and his three-point percentage elite as well, over 40%.
Sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Thanks, guys. I was able to hear Eric Spoelstra coaching the team during the break. He is not happy with the sloppy play offensively. He said, make the easy play. Take care of the ball. We can't afford to just give away golden opportunities. We'll see if they can clean it up, guys.
Okay, David, thanks. Here's Knox. And the 3 ball is good. And the Timberwolves lead by 14. And Towns said he'd emulate Kevin Durant as a kid playing on the perimeter at Kentucky. Cal made him play inside, work in the post, and use his size.
So going back to his roots with his three-point shooting, the association experiencing a three-point renaissance, and he really does fit the mold.
Minnesota calls timeout. And the Timberwolves with possession here. And following this one, they'll take on the Hornets in New Orleans. And that game will be game 2 of 3 straight on the road. Outside Turner. Pass to Lynn. Just 5 to shoot. The Heat need to get a shot off. Jones, no luck.
And they've only got a slight edge on the boards, but it just feels a lot bigger. And thus far, they've managed to overcome an off game from him offensively.
Good ball movement here by Miami. Outside, Lynn. over Iguodala. And it's out of bounds. The Heat able to retain possession here. Iguodala with the steal. And now with the fast break, Smart with the ball. Pass to Maker. Kicks it out to Iguodala. Back to Maker. Just 4 to shoot. Offensive rebound. Tries yet again. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. First one falls for him. And the Heat with some changes. And he can't hit the second. And so it's Harris who will bring it up for the Miami Heat. It's a 13-point game. Looking to get back on track here. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
No, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
He misses the free throw. And he sinks the second. Timberwolves leading by 12. Kicks it out to Iguodala. Pass to Maker. Smart wide open. He fires. Drops in the tray.
Another triple, and that's been the story of this second half.
Boy, they have consistently been draining shots from deep, and that can take the heart out of an opponent.
Iguodala, no good. Here's LeVert. Back to Harrell. And again, it's the Heat missing.
And out of rhythm offensively, but he continues to work at it.
Well, you can see he's sputtering a bit, but he's trying to get going. I do like that he's continuing to be aggressive.
And this is what they wanted. I mean, to announce their presence in this matchup with authority. Very decisive. It can definitely be considered a statement win for the Timberwolves.
Their shot blocking turned out to give them a big advantage in this game.
Yeah, excellent defense around the rim there, Kevin. They were disciplined and focused.
And now, for the year, this is going to take them to 7 wins.
And so they win their first game against this squad. It's a 2-game season series, and they'll be going for the sweep the next time they face off.
And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Karl Anthony Towns.
You can set a tone with defense, and that's exactly what he did with how he protected the rim.
Pass to Harris. Back to Harrell. And the rejection by Towns. To the middle. It falls for the 6th time in 7 tries this contest. That's 86%.
And that's a killer instinct on display as they try to put this one on ice.
I think that's exactly the mentality you have to have. You don't want to give this team any hope of coming back.
And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
Well, I just love the hard-nosed attitude of Andre Iguodala. When he's on the interior, he's so good at getting the defense to foul him.
He hits one, then misses the second attempt from the free throw line. And it's Conley penetrating. And the shot goes in.
Great job of screening there. Nice job to take it to the rim and get the finish.
Well, for the Timberwolves, they can just run out the clock here. Here's Towns. And the layup's good off the glass. And the Timberwolves lead by 20.
And all the energy has been sucked out of this arena. This is not what the fans came to see.
Well, they took the crowd completely out of this game, and when you get a lead like that, it's sort of deflating for the home crowd. What a solid victory on the road.
And so it's the Timberwolves taking care of business here. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
And that about wraps it up.